Hello YouTubers. I explained in my last video how Trump could earn my vote. At this point, I'm not really convinced that he will, but at least I'll let you know how he can earn my vote. I'll also say that I'll likely be voting for Justin Amash. A future video will explain how we have a far better chance of getting actual progressive policies under an Amash presidency than Trump, Biden, or whoever the Green Party candidate is. This video is a bit broader, that is, looking at the bigger picture. Here's the thing. You can have a good Democratic president, a good Republican president, or a good Libertarian president. Sure, each would run the country in different ways, but unlike some of the most extreme progressives, I'm not of the opinion if I don't get everything I want that I'm not going to vote for you. It is that kind of mentality that prevents honest and principled candidates from getting elected. It is that kind of mentality that prevents positive change in our country. More importantly, I think it's a downright un-American approach. After all, the Constitution itself is a big compromise between those who wanted a strong federal government and those who wanted a weak federal government. Shays' Rebellion showed the inherent weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation, so the Constitution was formed to create a stronger government, but the Federalists wanted a much stronger government, while the more libertarian-minded fathers desired a government that, while stronger than the Articles of Confederation, was still much weaker than what the Federalists wanted. So they got in a room and basically said, we're not coming out until we get this issue resolved, thus making a giant compromise, which became the Constitution. Ultimately, I think that's the biggest issue in our society. Because of the almost total polarization in our society, people of different political views can barely work together anymore. Unless that polarization goes away, our society will collapse. And the little compromise that does happen is on bad things. Congress certainly works together to give money to the rich. But what about you? What, if anything, have they done to improve your life? You already know that this polarization of society will lead to the collapse of our society because you can see our society collapsing before your very eyes. As has been said many times, a nation divided among itself cannot stand. It is for this reason that Plato viewed democracy as the most tyrannical form of government. It's also called the tyranny of the masses. It is this form of tyranny that invariably leads to the creation of an actual empire. So the more the American people fight among themselves, the faster the decline of our republic and the hastening of the formation of an empire under the lead of an emperor. If I were a smarter person, I wouldn't be explaining this. Why? Well, mostly because I'd rather gain subscribers than to lose subscribers. In a society of people who are easily triggered, saying that our democratic system of government will eventually lead to the creation of an empire probably isn't the best way to gain subscribers. The problem is, I'm too honest to be smart. It should be stated that I favor the creation of an empire, but regardless of what I favor, the writing is on the wall and set in stone. It's not that I think that my words will have any effect whatsoever on society. You may wonder, however, if I favor the creation of an empire, why on God's earth will I likely vote for a libertarian candidate? For one, regardless of the fact I know what the future of America is, we're here in the present. And presently, we have the choice of either Biden, Trump, Amash, or whoever the Green Party candidate is. Whoever wins the nomination, the polarization of society will not decrease. The Green Party is far too extreme, even for me, so I'll likely not vote Green Party, though I'll consider who the candidate is when nominated. I may vote on someone like Jill Stein, though likely not. I'd likely still consider Amash to be the better choice. Ultimately, given the choices we have, I'd much rather have an honest and principled candidate than someone who will say whatever they can to get elected. Moreover, we have a far better chance of getting actual progressive policies under an Amash presidency than either Trump or Biden. While the Green Party may have a more progressive platform, the Green Party is generally so extreme that they wouldn't get anything accomplished. Had Ventura ran, I'd likely be voting Green Party, but we don't have that choice. Perhaps the biggest reason I will likely vote for Amash is because he is the best candidate to highlight our broken system, precisely because he is an honest and principled person. I will close with a clip of Amash that shows exactly why I think he is the best to highlight our broken system. In short, giving Congress more power so that they can fight among themselves rather than to work for the American people is the best way to form what will be a glorious American empire.
You suggested that universal payments should be made to individual Americans as part of the coronavirus response. That made me wonder, as president, is your mind open to a universal basic income as Andrew Yang proposed when he was running for president on the Democratic side of the field.
As president, I'm open to all the ideas that the legislature might present. The job of a president is to execute the laws. So I want the legislative process to work. I want people in Congress to actually represent their constituents. And then I'll make a decision about whether I want to sign the bill or not. Right now, what happens is you have a few leaders who go to the White House, they negotiate directly with the executive branch, and then most members of Congress are left out of it, and people at home aren't represented. So I want to allow the system to work, let people be represented, and if they can present a system that actually works and can address a lot of other shortcomings of having a UBI. For example, if you put a UBI on top of a massive social welfare system, you might have other problems. So if they can address those concerns, I'm happy to look at it as president, but I want Congress to work for the people. And I think that's the most important part of this campaign. Congress needs to work for the people. The executive branch needs to execute the laws. And right now, if you have Donald Trump or Joe Biden as president, those things are not going to happen. You're going to have the same system you've had for the past decade.
That's all the time I have for today. If you like this video, please show your support by subscribing. Thanks for your time.